It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Hey, folks. Bad news on the injury front today. I'm sure you heard all about the news. Look, are we cursed or what? Right? Well, sometimes you wonder. Medical updates. Forwards Alex Newhook fractured ankle, which kind of suspected that, or a shattered heel. Alex Newhook underwent surgery on Friday at the Montreal General Hospital. The surgery was performed by Dr. Greg Barry, and he's expected to be out 4 months. Defenseman Kaiden Guhle, partially torn adductor muscle, underwent surgery Thursday in New York City. Surgery was performed by Dr. Mark Zoland, and Guhle's expected to miss 8 to 10 weeks. Sounds like the same. Is that the same doctor that? Same injury, same doctor as Patrick Laine? I guess so, right? But anyway, not good news. Seems like it's the same guys that keep getting injured all the time, right? Like Newhook had a serious injury a couple of years ago. Has another one. Guhle. Well, Guhle. Let's just for shits and giggles have a look at this. Lower body injury, November 28th, 2025. Yeah. October 18th. Groin injury, thigh injury, illness, upper body injury, abdominal strain, head injury. Well, that's a good explanation. Upper body injury, lower body injury, upper body injury, knee injury, all between basically the start of 2023 and October of 2025. Injury after injury. He's I don't know, damaged goods. And then in junior, he kept getting injured too. So, someone was asking me on Twitter today, do you trade Kaiden Guhle because he seems to be always getting injured, injury prone. But I'm a believer in the law of averages, and unless this is the case, I would say no. Hope that it's going to turn around and it won't be Kaiden Guhle getting injured every 5 weeks or whatever. It seems like it's not good news. It really isn't. I mean, Guhle, I said at the start of the season, and I mean, that there's no guarantee that 2 years from now that Guhle's better than Jaden Struble. And in part it was because he's just, all these injuries you can't develop. I mean, Struble's getting all this NHL time now, and Guhle, how old is he now? I got to look this up. I should have got this beforehand, but this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Just I want to look up how many games he has played. For a top 20 draft pick, 174 games, and he's now, he's soon to be 24, right? And this is a guy that joined the NHL in 2020, 22, 23, and I mean, missed. He had one season where he only missed 12 games, right? But other than that, he missed 38 in his first year, 27 last year, and he's going to miss at least 40 this year. And that's after all the injuries that he got in junior. So it's just it's really frustrating with Kaiden Guhle because there's been so much potential, and just when it looks like he's getting going, another injury. And Alex Newhook looks like he's finally coming into his own as an NHL player. He's playing his best hockey by far. And what happens? He gets tripped, goes into the boards, breaks his ankle, fractures his ankle. How unfortunate for him. And you just hope. I mean, his bread and butter is his skating, right? You just hope that it doesn't affect that in the future, because without his skating, he's not going to be nearly as effective a player. That's for sure. You just like I say cursed. I mean, only semi seriously, but I mean, this goes back. This goes back a while, where you just you really do. Like, Habs injury woes, okay? First in 2021-22 with 599 man games lost. First in 2022-23 with 600 man games lost. Third in 2023-24 with 390 man games lost. Like, no other team was close to that over that 3-year stretch. Last year, it wasn't quite as bad, but you know, in the preseason, all of a sudden you get that double injury to Reinbacher and to Line, right? I mean, it really affected the team. The year before in preseason, Doc barely gets checked and he blows out his knee. Now this year, Line again, like Line with the 2 injuries, Newhook with the 2 injuries, Guhle with all sorts of injuries, Doc with his 2 knee injuries coming into this year. It's the same guys that keep getting the serious injuries, and it's unfortunate for them and for the club. Right now, it's funny, they didn't look like if you'd have told me 3 months ago that not having Newhook in the lineup would really hamper the team, you may not have thought so, but he was bringing a lot of elements. Now they got to find someone else to kill penalties. I guess Nick Suzuki's going to be playing. No rest for the weary. He'll be playing 25 minutes a game now, and at the Olympics, he's going to be wore out by playoff time if they're in the playoffs. That's something else to worry about. Like, is Suzuki going to be wore down, right, at playoff time if they make it that far? Now you start to wonder, because the injuries it will hamper the team, but I just hope that it's something that they can overcome. And when you put on top of that the question marks in goal right now, like, I don't know, like coming back with Montembeault again. You leave us your thoughts here in the chat, what you think of that. If you're watching this on X, join us on YouTube. I think the link's up there. Join us and weigh in on the chat and tell us what you think, and ask some questions. Here's one from Go Habs. Is it just bad luck, or is it something more? Yeah, like something like this. It's back when Trevor Timmins used to be with the team. Like, there was a run there, Noah Juleson, so many prospects that he drafted got injured, and it was happening over and over again. And you remember Carl and Noah Juleson with the fractured orbital bone, which is terrible. But before that, like, since the Bell Center opened, it's just like, I don't know that there's been any team that had the hardships that the Canadians went through. Trent McCleary came down close to dying. Richard Zednik, really close with the blood gushing out with the cut. Saku with the friggin' pancreatic cancer. I thought he was a goner when that was announced, and miraculously he ended up being okay. Jeffrey, remember the injury to him? Who else there? The kid Bozo. When Bozo came damn close to dying, and we were all praying for him. It's just it's been. Oh, and the other kid there, the Slovakian kid that played for Gatineau. He was a hot shot at the World Juniors. I can't think of his name right now, but he, a blood disorder that almost killed him too. Koivu's eye, Pacioretty getting ran into the, getting ran into the stanchion by Chera, just over and over again. And Trevor used to, like said, word has it that they built the Bell Center on the ancient burial ground, and I did some digging up on that. And sorry for the pun there, but I guess they did find bones or whatever when they were, but there's apparently no direct evidence that it was a ancient indigenous burial ground. But maybe that's why. Maybe they're cursed. They're cursed by the indigenous ancestrals. But anyways, it's yet another blow for the Canadians. They're going to have to overcome it. They answered it in part today by calling up the fellow that we've been calling for a while here now. Jared Davidson gets the call. He's going to join the team and hopefully not just be, I hope they don't throw him like with Kapanen and Veleno and say, okay, you three are going to play 7 minutes a game, because I don't want either Kapanen or I'm okay with Veleno playing 7 minutes a game, but Kapanen and Davidson, no. That's my hope that that's not what ends up happening here. But I'm starting to wonder when Marty put Doc and Bolduc with Demidov, I thought to myself, this might be, a portent of things to come, that Kapanen will be put down with like Veleno and Davidson, and they'll play very little, and he'll start to, his confidence will start to wane, just as Dobish's is starting to wane. Like I just find it frustrating that 2 weeks ago Canadians looked like they had 3 rookies that were like, top 6 contenders for the Calder, and I don't know. Marty's done a job on Doby so far as I'm concerned, and is Kapanen next? I'm not sure. When he didn't go out on the power play and Veleno did instead, I just it was mind-boggling to me. I don't know what the thought process is with Kapanen, but I have a feeling that they're gonna just start to ease back his ice time and not give him a significant role. But other than, I guess, penalty killing, I have no choice now, right? With Newhook gone, there's even one less guy that can back check. So we'll see. Let's have a look at what could potentially be the what I would like the lineup to be next game. Now, whether Marty goes with this or not, we'll see. But obviously the Dobish part isn't coming through, because Sammy Montembeault's been named the starter again. That doesn't shock me, but it's not who I would put in. But top line the same. I'd like to see Bolduc, Kapanen, and Demidov together. They haven't. I was hoping for that since the start of the year. Now would be the time to try it, but they never did at the end of the game after Newhook went out last game. So I'm not expecting it. But that would be what I'd do. And I'd put Davidson with Doc and Gallagher. And then Anderson, Evans, Veleno as the fourth line. And as far as the same defense pairings as before, it wouldn't change up. Let me know your thoughts on that. One potential, you might see Davidson playing with Kapanen and Demidov. I also wouldn't actually mind that line because Davidson's a shooter and Demidov's an elite playmaker, and I could see that actually clicking. I'd like to see, and Kapanen's a good puck distributor too. Wouldn't mind that line together, and perhaps they look at it and kind of a rookie line, and probably reduce their ice time a bit. They wouldn't really be the second line in that they'd likely get maybe even the fourth most even strength minutes out there, but that's one other tweak that could happen. And obviously, the other possibility is Bolduc, Doc, and Kapanen flip in there, right? And it being Davidson, Kapanen, Gallagher. That would be my third choice for lineup. But what could well happen, and I hope it doesn't, but knowing just the way Marty's been, the way things have been going and his mindset this year, it wouldn't surprise me if the fourth line now is Kapanen, Veleno, and Davidson, and they don't get a whole pile of ice time. Hey, here's Rick. Rick Springhetti has joined the circus. We will welcome Rick here. Muck Springhetti, how's it going, sir?
Everything is well, Grant. How are you?
Well, could be better. Bad news on the injury front today. I guess nothing shocking. Guhle, that doesn't shock me. And Newhook, I think we knew last night that something serious had happened, right?
Yeah. Just the fact that he's going to be back in 4 months is almost optimistic. I really thought it was a season-ending thing. Guhle was, I don't know if I'm shocked or not. I just thought I didn't expect a surgery a few weeks after he's already been off. That part kind of caught me off guard. I don't know what the situation is, if it just wasn't healing like they hope it would, or if something happened while he was working out. But just more injuries for Kaiden Guhle, and I think the question always is the same one: is he injury prone? Well, yeah, he's injury prone, that's for sure. But the difference with that is that it's not chronic injuries that he's getting; it's just bad luck injuries. He's had if it was always like a back problem or always the same knee, I'd be more worried. But yeah, I really hope it lets off. And as for Newhook, I think, as I mentioned yesterday, Grant, when I hopped into the chat from laying down on the couch a little bit, the saddest part for Newhook for me is just the fact that he had been finding his game, and he had been finding his game using his speed and really moving really, really well. And of all things to get injured, it's his ankle, and oh man, just really discouraging for the guy. So
yeah,
Montreal's gonna have to live with it. It's a lot of teams face injuries, and now this is time for Montreal to step up and show what they're made of.
Yeah, exactly. I like this comment from Wayne. Although we have a pile of prospects, they're not ready to help us much at this point. I can't disagree with that. It's there's some promising ones, but most of them aren't playing in Laval, and those that are, maybe they can help a little bit, but there's no one that was screaming to be called up, I don't think. I mean, Davidson, yeah, he deserves a look, and maybe he is the one guy that can help right now, but certainly not. I wouldn't put him as an A rated prospect by any means, right, at this point.
No. He's a depth player. I think if things work out well, that's what he'll be, and that's fine. That's not a problem. There's nothing shameful about that, considering where he came from. Though I would say one thing, Grant. I think I would have called up Joshua and have him play a few games. I think Veleno maybe needs to sit a game or two. I think it has been a struggle. And in the case of Joshua, you could kind of speak to his willingness or his desperation, if you will, to have a chance to make one last statement in the NHL, because it's not going to happen anywhere. So give him a chance to show other teams at the NHL that he could be useful in another organization, and that will just profit Montreal, right? Where he'll come in and maybe play with a lot more energy.
Huh.
I would have liked to have seen that personally.
So are you saying like call up two guys?
Yep, I would have called up Joshua and Jarrett Davidson, both of them.
I would have called up two guys as well, Rick, and I think Veleno needs to be the 13th forward for a bit here.
Yeah.
He's not. I didn't mind him when he wasn't harming the team, but I don't know. There's been several goals against there that he's kind of been a glaring,
Yeah.
He hasn't been getting any points. That's fine if you're still playing okay defensively, but there have been a few miscues defensively with him lately too, which tells me that he's not only not helping the team, he's actually hurting the team. And I would take. I would have, I get where you're coming from with Raw. For me, there was no one else that just screamed to be called up, right?
No,
Jack-Eye, going into the year, we'd have thought, okay, it'll be Jack-Eye, but he has not. He's struggling a bit. I don't know if, this happens with the last cut sometimes of training camp. You think, oh, I should have made the team, and you sulk a little bit, and you don't really, you know what I mean? It's happened many times in the NHL with guys that think, oh, I should have been on the team, and they don't maybe bring it. The attitude isn't quite as good as it should be to start the year. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm speculating, but he has not played as well as was expected, given that he basically was the final cut at training camp.
Yeah. And it might also be the fact is that when I went to see the Laval Rockets, I was hoping to see a little bit more from Tuck. Even Alex Tuck was not much of a factor. He was just there, or Luke Tuck, sorry.
Luke Tuck,
and he was kind of just when he's really playing well, he's not a great skater, no, but he's finishing his checks and he's forcing opponents to move the puck quickly, making mistakes. He wasn't doing too much of that. And, he's playing with Torp too, who's a really young player and trying to find his game and trying to figure out the HL. I believe last year, Simoneau was on that line, and that really was a bit of a spark too and got him going. So the line itself maybe is not the right mix. I'd like to see Jack-Eye play with a bit more of one skill player on the line, maybe just to open up a little bit of options. But anyways, that's either near nor there. He hasn't shown right now that he should be called up. That's why what I went with. Some people also said Farrell, but I think Montreal have a few players like him that maybe do that role better. So I thought maybe Joshua would be better to call up for. Again, the thing with Veleno too is you can live with his mistakes if he's an extra body and the team is winning. But right now they need a spark, and he's not going to bring you a spark. Let's face it, he's not that kind of player.
No.
We're getting two guys from the American Hockey League. That's the spark kind of you're looking for. Players get excited or a little bit interested in seeing what these guys can do, and they're coming up and they're a little bit excited, and you get that energy because, boy, that team yesterday was rattled mentally. Not just they were being outplayed, they were rattled. Like they were. How many shots did they miss in the first period? They were just hitting it all over the place. And as the game wore on, there was a lot of shots that didn't even hit the net. That tells me that they're holding the stick tightly and forcing shots and forcing plays that are not there. So you need something to get their minds focused elsewhere. And sometimes getting those energy players helps for that reason. So I'm really happy that they called up Davidson. Again, I would have liked another one too, but we'll see how it goes against Boston. It's maybe a good team to take on to get you a little bit wound up, and maybe that might be a good thing for them, right?
Yeah, I would have. I think maybe called up a Jack-Eye and hoped that it'd get him going.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Fourth line, get him on there. Add some friggin' spark right now. The team needs. I think I'd have called him up, even though he hasn't really. Based on what he did in the preseason and that he was the last cut, and think,
Okay.
like he ideally is a right guy for a fourth line on the Canadians. Like I see that as his future down the road
Yeah.
for sure. But right now, even like I think they need that. I don't know. They need a little bit of sandpaper, I think, and he definitely provides that. And Boston being a rugged team, Zadorov is going to be, he's been running roughshod so far this year, right?
Oh, is he
It'll
ever, right?
be, yeah, it's going to be a rugged game. McAvoy's rugged. They've got Boston,
Yeah,
Montreal. There's always a bit of extracurricular
for sure.
stuff.
I,
So I might have
yeah.
looked at calling him up, and Waugh would get a top 9 spot, but give Davidson a look in the top 9 as
Oh, yeah.
opposed to just sticking him on the. Here's what um here was what I thought
Yeah.
I'd like to see
Yeah.
now, like. And this is like, well, I don't want Veleno in there, but I mean, they didn't call up another guy, so.
Right.
But that would be Jacky and Veleno's spot if it were up to me for the next game, but they didn't do that. But Davidson with Doc and Gallagher, Anderson, Evans, Veleno, Bolduc, Kapanen, Demidov, and then the top line. What are your thoughts on that? Those 4 lines for
I'm 100. I'm on board with that. I thought maybe at first my first reaction would be to switch Veleno and Gallagher and have Veleno, Dak, Davidson together, Evans, Anderson, Gallagher. And the reason being is, I don't want to put
fourth line.
Yeah, just having the fourth line. And the reason only being is that
Yeah,
Anderson and Evans have been off too. So maybe have Gallagher back with them and get a spark going for them. They're going to need Anderson to be his more rugged self against Boston, right? And getting that spark going might be good for him. I
yeah,
think Davidson and Doc will work well together, and if Veleno could keep up, might work, right? I
yeah,
do like Davidson and Doc together. If they would have brought up a third player, I would have put Doc Davidson, and Joshua. But
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. And again,
Okay.
this is a kind of game where the Habs are going to really need Anderson to be a factor, and he has not been
True.
one this year. So they're going to need him to maybe this would be the kind of game that he needs actually to get going.
Yeah, I actually thought he might have been one of the best players against LA, and not just because he
Right.
scored the goal, but seeing a little bit of spark from him lately. And um,
Okay.
you know what, though? I have a funny feeling, Rick, just based on reading the tea leaves from the last game, that they're going to break up Kapanen and Demidov because didn't play those two together in the third period after Newhook was injured. Bolduc,
That's true.
Doc, and Demidov were playing together, and I
Yeah.
have a feeling that that's going to be a trio. And if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if Anderson, Evans, and Gallagher, as you say, are together, and then they've got a fourth line that plays like 7-8 minutes of Veleno, Davidson, and Kapanen. That's what I
I
think
could see
might
that.
might end
Yeah,
up
that makes
happening.
total sense. That's a good call. I agree
You
with you
know,
on that one, Grant. That's so true.
well, I
It's
don't agree
unfortunate,
with it, but I think that's
yeah,
what's going to happen. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
If
uh,
that's the case, I hope they give Kapanen some shorthanded time at least to give him some ice time because I think he deserves to get a bit more ice time. And listen,
yes,
Montreal have injuries, and that's kind of obvious to me, right? We've talked about Suzuki. The word is out that he's playing hurt. I think Bolduc is playing hurt too. He doesn't seem right to me. I wouldn't be surprised if Anderson too was hurt. It's just the way they're playing. I just wouldn't be surprised. But Bolduc and Suzuki in particular they look off to me a little bit, just a bit.
yeah.
Suzuki's high
Well,
IQ and shot and all these things make him compensate some, but again, it's what we're
I
hearing.
I agree
So
on Suzuki. I'm not sure. I mean, your business on Bolduc's storied career that he's had so far, or
no,
like
on
I
the
mean,
fact that
no,
he ended the camp with an injury, right? And
maybe.
that's what I'm thinking.
Although he did score in his first 3 games, then after that, but then
Yeah,
Yeah, he could be. I don't think there's something seems to be off with him, and I hope it maybe that it is an injury that heals quickly or something. I agree though that maybe I think we can get more from Bolduc, and
Yeah,
I have a feeling that they're going to go with Doc, Bolduc, and Demida. I mean, I don't mind that. The only issue I have, obviously, would be that if they put Davidson, Kapanen, and Veleno together, they're going to play about 7 minutes, and I don't want Davidson and Kapanen playing 7 minutes. I'd like to see them
no, you're
play
right.
more than that, right? Uh,
Absolutely, absolutely, for
but
sure.
that could be what I think that's likely what happens. Obviously, with Newhook's injury, Kapanen, they have no choice but to keep Kapanen on the PK. That's one less guy, right? I think
Right,
I think it looked like they were playing Suzuki and Kapanen together a bit, and that may end up being the second
yeah,
PK pairing, right?
right.
Uh, Bolduc can also PK. I don't think Sloth's that far off from work playing on the PK. I really don't.
Oh
Might be
no.
another year yet, but he can be really effective in his own zone. He's getting better and better. Like he's
Hmm.
just, he can manhandle people, right?
Yeah.
Once he learns positioning a little better in the defensive zone and, just learns where to be and not to make risky passes and cross ice passes and stuff, I think eventually Slav's going to have a role as a penalty killer too and be a beast in
I
that
don't see why not.
role.
Yeah, I don't see why not, Grant. Absolutely. He could do it. He's a smart enough player and he's got that long reach and he takes
Yeah,
up a lot of space. And
yeah.
I think he's the kind of guy that will just be excited at that opportunity, right? He
Oh
he
yeah,
wants to play, he wants to be a factor. He's got that swagger about him. So
he wants to
he'll
win.
jump at that chance.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good I hope he
Yeah.
gets some looks, penalty kill even now, because I think his defensive game has come along a long piece, and there are some games where he's easily one of the best defensive forwards on the team. He's made some
Hmm.
really strong plays. Mark sent $5 for the cause. Hey, I really appreciate that, my friend.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
and Mark always says he always reminds me to tell people hit the like button and hit
Yes.
subscribe, please. And if you've already been having a few cocktails and you feel, you know, geez, what a pair of great guys, I'm going to send them some money. We'll even accept that.
Of
So,
course. Uh,
uh, Michael, uh, Michael Werid says, send him a FedEx letter with new lines. Well, yeah, I guess what? Send them to Marty. Yeah, as long as he doesn't see the lines that I have with um uh Kapanen, Veleno, and Davidson. I have a feeling that's what's going to end up happening, but we'll see. Michael says Engstrom. Yeah, I don't. He's not that good on right wing. I don't know. I find that he's not. the Canadian the Canadians already have 5 left defensemen right now, eh? Do they not?
I, yeah, well, they have, yeah, they already do, but maybe
So
people have
so
been
call up a
clamoring
sixth.
to try Arbor Jackeye on the wing. Maybe you bring in Ekstrom and move Jackeye to forward. Who knows, right?
There we go. Let me just
That's the
jigger these
solution.
lines again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
They
Have
did it with years ago. They did it with Greg Rivet during the playoffs. That was a Dave King idea, right? Where he had Rivet playing on the wing
yeah,
to try to really. When you talk about neutral zone trap, he was trapping that neutral zone with three
yeah.
defensemen, right?
And they just about won the cup that year, eh? Yeah, yeah. No.
It made for fun hockey too. Boy, oh boy, did I love that.
How about when Gainey put the big George Larac on the first line to start the playoffs?
Oh,
Remember that?
oh man. Well, there was. I gotta think somebody was pranking, but there was a story that came out that a journalist said that Montreal were considering trying out Turner Stevenson at defense.
Ooh,
And Turner Stevenson himself says, "I could barely skate forward. You want me to go backwards
Turner.
too?" He goes, "Not
He's not.
happening."
He wasn't a turner. He wasn't a pivoter. That may have been his name, but it wasn't Pivoter Stevenson. That's for sure.
No.
If both goalies keep crap in the bed, yeah. Well, you know what? There is an extra space, right? You could call up a third goalie for a while and give him a look, but
Yeah.
Marty is in babysitting control with Monty. He's trying his best. The last thing he's going to do, I think, is he's freaking starting him, for Christ's sake, over and over again, let alone to bring in a third guy to play instead of him, because he's trying his best to get Monty's confidence back. And if they brought up another goalie, he might be shattered for life, So I just I can't see it happening, even though I do it in a heartbeat. But Marty St. Louis is not going to do it.
No. And I wouldn't have it be Fowler, to be honest with you. I just prefer not to while the team is really not in a good headspace right now. I wouldn't bring Fowler up. Let it be Kakkonen, and he's a bit older and he could handle coming into it. I mean, he's played with terrible teams for the last few years, so I think he's pretty used to it right now. It's like every time he was to a team, they were not that good.
No. Wayne's also saying they may have to pick someone up off waivers or minor trade to help for now. Yeah, it's possible.
Could be.
I don't know, man, though. It's hard to upgrade on Veleno. 0-0-0, 10 stupid defensive plays, -10, whatever. Yeah, that'd be tough to upgrade for sure. I think they could pick up a waiver pickup from the AHL right now, who would be an upgrade on Joe right now.
Okay, I think also the injury situation throughout the NHL is pretty rough right now. So not a lot of guys are going to be going on waivers that could help anyways. I mean, you look at the list, a lot of teams are struggling with injuries, and some of them are not necessarily guys on the injury list, but guys that are maybe skipping a few games here and there because they're hurting. So you're not going to get much on waivers, I don't believe right now. It's not. I don't think that's a reality.
Dauphin's having a good year so far. I'd even call up Laurent Dauphin for a few games.
They have to sign him though, right? They have to sign him from Montreal though, right?
Would they? Oh, he's not even okay.
No, I don't think he's eligible. That's the problem, I think.
Okay.
He did play really well. But
seriously,
he's not an option, I don't think.
Really, Dauphin and Davidson have been the two best forwards so far this year.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sign him then. Would you give Fowler a shot? Yeah. I agree. It's just not going to happen. I would, but I'm not the coach, so it's not. Don't be expecting it. Sheldon, if Kapanen is only going to play on the fourth line for 7 minutes, he should be killing penalties. Well, that's it too, eh? On the second power play, he doesn't deserve to be treated like he's been. I really hope that the next game it's not Veleno on the second power play, because that just that boggled my mind, Rick. I did not understand it. Kapanen is top 15 in even strength points in the entire NHL, and Veleno's dead last because he's got 0. He's tied with everybody else at 0, right? So why did they put Veleno on the second power play when it just did not make any sense whatsoever. None.
And if at least you're saying, oh, he had a few opportunities, he missed the net, nothing. There was no opportunities. He didn't come near the net. There was no spark. There was no, a missed opportunity. There was nothing at all. I don't know what it's based on, this opportunity on the second line. I couldn't understand that one at all.
No. He's not been very good the last few games, really. But I would it's going to be either Davidson or Kapanen, I think, that replaces Newhook on the second power play. Davidson, I I would like Davidson and Kapanen both on it, and Kapanen's a pretty good puck distributor. I would have them on the second power play with Doc and Dobson, Bolduc. Is that 5? Is that yeah? That'd be a pretty good 5, I think. But Gallagher, Veleno, there's not a lot of who are the guys that are going to set up Bolduc in the bumper spot there? It's supposed to be Doc, I guess, but Gallagher's not a playmaker. I would rather have Davidson and Kapanen on the second power play than Gallagher and Veleno at this point.
I agree. And that was one of the concerns I have with putting Doc on the line with Demidov and Bolduc is I prefer Doc when he plays a more straightforward game, a little bit less cleverness, a little bit less fantasy. I think it works better for him. He's not a bad passer. He's not a bad, he's not bad at it, but he's at his best when he plays a more direct game, when he's getting engaged physically, when he's forcing teams out to get on him. I just worry that he's going to change his game and just do what doesn't come naturally to him. Where with Kapanen, because of his intelligence and the fact that he stays in movement, I think that works well with Demidov, and that'll get maybe Bolduc going, and it might open up shooting lanes for Bolduc, and he has a great shot, let him use it a bit more. So that's why I like the idea of keeping Kapanen, and I had the same thing as, I had Kapanen on that line too, and that would have been my line, and having Davidson with Doc would work, because again, Davidson will play a more straightforward game. And Doc is better when he's a little bit more defensively focused. When he keeps his mind on his defense, he plays better. But having a youngster like Davidson on his line will force him to think of his two-way game. And I think that's why I liked Doc with Davidson and probably Veleno and Anderson, Evans, and Gallagher.
I was going to say, so you just flip out of this group, you just flip Veleno and Gallagher then.
That's all. Yeah, that's all.
No, I'm on board with that. I get that, and then have that. Those 3 lines would play pretty close to the same amount of even strength minutes, right?
You're right. Yeah.
No, that would make sense to me. I hope that's the case. Bolduc, I didn't like the makeup of the second power play with Newhook and Gallagher out there. Neither of them are playmakers in tight quarters, and Bolduc's a shooter in the bumper spot. That's why I wanted Kapanen in there over either one of those guys. Now Davidson's more of a shooter too, right? If you put Davidson in there with Bolduc and Doc, who are the playmaker? Who's gonna be the good playmaker, right? So I like the I hope the Kapanen gets a look on the second power play, and if they do go, as it was stated there, if he does play on a fourth line with Veleno and Davidson, and they don't, they're playing fewer minutes, I hope that gets made up somewhat by him being on the second power play and the second PK.
Yeah. One thing too, Grant, I would consider switching up maybe for Saturday's game, Jacky and Struble. I thought Struble struggled a little bit the last 2 games. Maybe having a play with Carrier will get him a little bit back on track, even if it's just for a game. And Jacky's played better, and maybe having him together with Hudson against a team like Boston will maybe keep Boston a little bit more honest and on Hudson. Would that be something you might consider?
Were you into the Scotch at the end of last game there, Rick, or did you miss the third period? Okay, Jacky was giving away the pucks pretty steadily last game. I don't know.
Everybody was. I didn't notice anything worse. Struble to me was a bit all over the place too. So I figure maybe moving them up will
I don't
change
think
it
any
up
of
for a
the
little bit.
defensemen, other
You
than
know,
Dobson, I didn't think any of them were particularly good
yeah,
last game. It was,
yeah, I know what I mean. Yeah.
Hudson actually was probably the worst.
Oh boy, did he struggle? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, my deal was just to for one game to, sometimes snap the brain out of like getting them in a
Yeah,
different
no,
frame of
no,
mind.
Struble hasn't been great, but I think in certainly in part the last two games it's because of his partner too, because Hudson's been, I think, worse than him. They've been on the
Wow,
ice for a
yeah,
few goals.
it's true.
Struble was -2 last game, and Hudson was -4. Uh, actually, -2 wasn't a bad mark in last night's game. It was horrible. That was one of the better. Yeah, and Slav, it was funny. Like, came on here last night. I think people have to just, whenever the Canadians lose, it's blame Slav, right? Oh, Slav sucks, and people started. And I said, and I warned them. I said, look, I don't want to see any more Slav sucks on here, because Slav was the best friggin' player on
Yeah.
the
Oh, he
Canadians last
was.
night.
He was. Yeah.
You know, he was giving her, and if everybody had played like Slav last night, it would not have been a 7-0 loss.
Well,
But
I always said
people
with
just,
Slav, it would be better if people would like, you know, I keep hearing that they want him to be the next Kachuk and the next, Wilson I mean, it's not his game. He's a big body. He's more of a Leclerc type to me, where he uses big body to play well, to get opportunities. He's not a nasty, aggressive guy. And once you accept it, you'll be very happy with who he is as a player. I think he's coming along fantastic.
yeah,
He's a great player from Montreal. He's getting better all the time, and you're going to see the real Slav at 24, 25 years old. I think 25 years old is when you're going to really go, wow, this guy can play hockey.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Pierre, he wants the Bolduc Captain and Demidov line. Hey, there you go. Yes.
Good man.
Yeah. Well, Pierre, we'll keep reading your tweets then, buddy. You're a smart man. I just can't see clearly, but it's okay because I'm typing. What's this? Veleno is a well-rounded player, but not good in anything special. Yeah, yeah. What does he put on some weight? That's the only thing close to well-rounded that he could possibly be. Maybe a little rotund, is he? That's Grant. Rick, off the wall question: can either of you see Price coming back to the team as a consultant to the goalie coach? Yeah, it's hard for how many Hall of Famers are good coaches, right? Like they can't relate. Well, do it like I did. Well, I can't do it like you did. Maurice Richard was behind the bench for the Quebec Nordiques for 5 games, I think.
Oh,
Boom Boom Jaffrey. I've heard horror stories from Larry Robinson and others about him as a coach. He was horrible. Wayne Gretzky, proofs in the pudding with him as a coach. You can go on and on. I don't know. I don't think Carey Price. I wouldn't call like I wouldn't put him in an intellectual on an intellectual plane with Ken Dryden or something like that. It
no.
was. I
Well,
I
on top of it, I don't know if you could talk with anybody from the Habs right now. He's part of the San Jose organization, right? So
Oh, that's
can you
right.
really get a phone call from Monty saying, "Hey, Carey, I'm struggling. Do you have any advice? Anything to help me out?" I can't. I don't. I'm part of the
Yeah.
San Jose organization. I get in trouble if I talk to you, right? But no, I think upon his retirement, he might be somebody that around the team that a goalie might decide, hey, I'll give this guy a call just to pick his brain. But it's hard also because guys who make $10 million a year in their career don't usually have to revert to coaching when they retire, right?
No,
That's why a
no.
lot of superstars are not actually coaching anymore
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's
those
some of
Ford,
them do, but a lot of them don't,
yeah.
right?
Well, I don't know. The new Ford trucks are get pretty expensive, so maybe he's run out of cash, or he's got to get
Maybe.
he's got to get a hybrid, and it's just out of his price range. Kaiden was going to play in the fourth. He should be. Yeah. Okay. We already got that one. Yeah. Marty's stubbornness will be his undoing. Oh, well, we'll see. He's in the doghouse right now. uh, and then when he wins a few more, he'll be great. He'll be great again. But Sheldon, I'm driving my grandson home after hockey, and I'm dictating him what to say.
Good man, good man. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So was that water you got there, or pure vodka?
No. That's plain water, my friend. I have a week off starting today, so I'm not going to start with the scotch right away.
Not right yet, eh?
We're going to stay
Well, I
with the
knew it
water.
wasn't
But
scotch. It was pretty clear.
no,
Yeah.
definitely not. And I'm not a vodka man too, so it's fine.
Yeah. Sheldon and Pierre seem to be butting heads quite a bit here. Hey, Sheldon, we need something to disagree on. This cannot go on, bud. Come on. Yeah, just call them the new Liam and Grant, these two. Agree on everything. Mark, the folks who don't like Staff are the same ones who want us to get Kadri. Nonsense talk. That's about it. That's about it. We got 400 people showed up on a Friday night. That's not too bad. No, not, we're not, it's not after a game or anything like that. So I appreciate everybody coming out. We'll talk for a few more minutes here. We're not getting a lot of questions. I think we've covered most things here. Suzuki, do you think you should say damn the consecutive game streak and give him a couple nights off? Would you do that?
Oh boy. Right now, I mean, it's a disaster if he takes a game off, right? Because there's really nobody. There's just a few too many injuries right now.
Well, he played 22 minutes last game.
Gosh, I mean, wow, right?
Yeah.
At some point, if Montreal make that acquisition of that top six center experienced player, that might happen.
David Kempf.
That David Kempf guy, we're waiting for him. It's either Crosby or Kempf, one or the other, right? We're debating.
Oh, jeez. Every friggin', and then you see five or six articles, like even today, there's a couple more these articles by the, on the free sites. Oh, Tage Thompson. Habs one of two teams interested in Tage Thompson. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure they are. Yeah, that's,
the GM
know.
calling to inquire about the availability of a player doesn't mean he's that interested. It's just calling to say, is he available? What are you looking at? If Buffalo answers something absolutely asinine that Montreal could jump on, like really ridiculous, hey, fine, who knows? But realistically, if you're looking at a realistic trade, Tage Thompson is not the guy Montreal need at all. He's another ringer. He's a big guy. No, he's not a center. I know he's listed as one, but he's not even playing center on a bad Buffalo team. Like, what makes you think he's going to play center in Montreal?
Yeah.
And he's another right shot.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like,
they're not. They're
I keep saying
they're not picking up another right-hand shot. They're just not.
No. And I keep saying it's more important to pick up the right player than it is to pick up the best player. You get a player that doesn't fit won't help you, no matter how good he's supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure. And Mark, telling Susie to take the day off is like telling Hudson and Demi to take the day off skating. Yeah, pretty much. It's just not happening, right?
No.
Wayne or Price would rather hunt or fish. Yeah. Sit back and sip on a couple of drinks and he's not going to be consulting with the team anytime soon. But you know what? Something that they do have to consider, and teams do it midstream, is to get another goalie coach. I would really consider it.
Yeah.
I'm just not quite sure that they got the right guy in place there right now. And
I've been here. I've been a lot of players. I got a people I know that are, more goalie specialists. I've said that a few times that they really question the advice. A lot of them are really high on the Marco Marciano that they have in Laval, saying that he might be the better option right now.
Yeah. Well, I've even heard it in NHL circles that they don't have the best reputation for developing goalies. The the Canadian staff. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not a goalie expert, but
Yeah, no, so neither am I.
I'm not going to state it as fact or anything like that. But I think it's something that you have to, at some point, you have to consider, because getting the goaltending going is a key to them contending this year. Right now,
Yeah,
it looks like it might just snowball, right? When you're the
yeah,
youngest team in the league, if you've got two goalies without playing without confidence, it can go south in a hurry. And I mean,
absolutely.
I showed the they're 4 points out of seventh place in the division. Like, they could be in seventh place in 2 weeks,
Sure,
you know.
absolutely.
So
And I think my big concern too is it's the same kind of issues that he's had since last year, right? It's that difficulty tracking shots that are further away from him. It always seems off. Shots from even the blue line always seem more difficult for him than shots from the slot. To me, at least, and it looks always like he's shaky on those. And with the amount of video you have now, I think teams are noticing it. People are taking longer shots on him,
yeah,
and you're
and
seeing it.
uh, he seems to be having an issue with the glove side too. Glove side high
Yeah,
seems to be something that's they're beating him high on the glove. Maybe
right.
he needs specs. Maybe he needs spectacles.
Could be, yeah.
Uh, Daniel Thornton, Grant, do you think at some point they give Reinbacher some time with the Habs, or it would be better to wait until next season? Well, with the injury long term to Guhle now, or longer term, if Jackeye and Struble struggle, and Reinbacher keeps developing, you never know. He might get a call up, and if Hudson, we have to keep in perspective that this is a second year pro playing on his offside, and it shouldn't be shocking that he might have some struggles with it
Yeah,
at times. And if that continues, they might want to look at putting him back on his right, on the left side,
yeah,
calling up Reinbacher, stabilizing things, maybe have Hudson and Reinbacher together as a pairing. I mean, that's what the long-term plan has been, I believe, for 2 years, is to, that very first development camp that they were at together, who got paired, right? It was
right.
frickin' Frack, Hudson and Reinbacher, and that when they drafted Reinbacher, it was with that plan, I do believe, to have those two
Oh yeah,
eventually be a pairing. So it depends. If they're struggling on defense, and Lane's struggling on the right side, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we see Reinbacher before the end of the year. Personally, I'd like to see him, and I think, Rick, you're in the same, you're the same mindset. Just keep him in Laval for this year. Let him, next year's the year for him to come in and crack the lineup, right?
I agree. I agree 100%. He hasn't played much in the last few years, and I think his body type is still kind of tall and lanky and a little bit slim still. And I worry if that affects his pivoting and his ability to absorb hits and his balance, and kind of leads to injuries and hurt groins and things like that. I'd rather have him play a full season in Laval, touch the puck a ton, play a lot of minutes, solidify that core strength, get that lower body stronger. And next year, I think he'll be in better position physically to handle the NHL, because you could see his talent. I mean, he moves the puck really well, super smart, understands his positioning and his angles, and good gaps. All these things that you want in a defenseman, a really good two-way defenseman. But I just worry that right now his body type, and because of his injuries, is not ready to take on the full NHL grind for a year.
Yeah, yeah. How about the goalie coach from Laval moving up? Well, we did already mention that, Mark. Pierre, you may have missed. Uh, you know, maybe you maybe you put Springhetti on mute when he's talking, but you shouldn't do that, because he's got some good things to say.
I'm not-
Don't be doing that, okay? Rick's got some good comments. What- yeah, and there is a proposal here, Veleno for Tage. Yeah, might have to throw in Meshar too. Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, might have to be Hage for Tage, and I don't think I'd want to do that right now.
No.
As Simon LeBlanc says, trust the process. Oh, geez, where'd you get that from? It's a big year of learning. Yeah, okay. Somebody should call a podcast that. Pierre Gingras. Well, I guess Fowler is now only one injury away from getting a net, even as a backup. Yeah. Maybe Monty will get hurt. Who knows?
He might be hurt because he missed at the end of last season, right, with a groin injury. And as you said, Grant, those injuries drag on for a long, long time.
Yeah, well, that could be possible. Don't tell Marty that though. I would prefer to call up Kakinen. Yeah, he's the more likely. He's the more likely guy to come up. You want to, we're not rushing these guys. Fowler, I think the thinking is Fowler and Reinbacher all year in Laval. Let them develop. Maybe next year they make the team. I expect Reinbacher to be on the team next year. Fowler might be 2 years, but he might make the team next year. It'll depend a lot on how, what Dovish, you just don't know what's gonna right now, man. It's so unpredictable with him. He could go either way right now.
100%. Maybe the next game he pulls a tug nut there when he played with Boston and makes 72 saves or something.
Yeah. No, it's completely up in the air with Dobie. What did I post that it seems like Marty's kind of throwing him under the mattress here, I said that.
All right,
I said that in a post on Blue Sky, and of course, nobody got the joke. It was all,
I did.
And finally, I just deleted it because it was just, guys.
Oh, it was a good one.
No,
that's a good one.
It was a joke. Oh man, Drum Dude. Laine might be on the wing before Newhook is back, Grant? Yeah, that's true. When's Laine? Did they say 3 months or something like that?
3 months around? Yeah, 3 months. It's been around a month, so another 2 months. Yeah, he should be back before Newhook if everything goes as planned. But unfortunately with Laine, I don't know. But
well, that's looking more and more enticing. Certainly, I'd rather have Laine in the lineup than Veleno.
Oh yeah.
At least we know that there's a potential of the odd goal going in.
Yeah.
Poor old Joe. I know he's a Montreal boy, and I like that he made the team. He had a good off season. I mean, his skating is good. Looks better than it did last year. He's skating fine. He just looks like he's never going to score a goal again in the NHL. It's really unfortunate,
I know. Again, I have no problem with him as your extra forward, but you can't play him every game. I think you're going to have to, he's going to have to miss a game here and there, and be protected a little bit. There again, he was in 3 organizations last year, and Seattle didn't even keep him. So, Chicago didn't keep him, and they really didn't have anybody last year, right? They were building. They could have used anybody, but they didn't even keep him. Detroit didn't keep him, even though they were struggling. There's reasons for things like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. And Simon saying many prospects fun to watch. Hage, Mooney, Pickford, Zorowski, Eriksson, Konyushkov, etc. That's right. And I'm going to be posting a ton of. If you guys ever let me get off the air here, I'm going to be posting a ton of prospect videos coming up here I did go to my YouTube channel if you're watching on X, and I've got a great video on Davidson that I posted today. If you are watching this on YouTube, when we're done, go watch the video on that I posted on. It's not that long. It's 2 games that I scouted and talked about Davidson and why he should be called up, and then he was. And then like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Do all that good stuff, not only for this video but for that one too. We'd really appreciate it.
For sure.
We'll get to a couple more questions here, and then we'll go off the air. I can't sit here watching you drinking water for too long. Then
I like water. It's fine. It's fine.
actually, I've been I had a hot chocolate. That's
Oh wow.
kind of a little bit of caffeine to keep me up here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go. Actually, I want to go watch some of the. I think Verhoff's on TSN 5. By the way.
Oh, nice. I'll check that out. Absolutely.
College
Thanks for letting
game.
me know.
So as soon as we're done here, I'm bopping upstairs and gonna sweet talk the woman into letting me watch a little college hockey. I hope.
If anyone could do it, you can, Grant.
Oh yeah, you don't know her too well. Zeph, guys, with my humble opinion, we're at least 3 or 4 players away from being a cup contender. Yeah, well, you know what? After being outscored 12-1, you know, that's everybody feels that way, but let's just give it a bit of time here and see, you know. If they get back on track. Somebody was saying I think that they get back on track next game and show what they're made of. I actually don't mind them getting blown out. I almost prefer that they've lost the last 2 games 5-1 and 7-0 because and at home, because I think, you know, they're a proud bunch and they'll it's a wake up call, you know. You come back home, you're first in the you come back home to all the accolades. You beat Utah, who's at the top of the stands the other. You start reading the press clippings. You guys are great. You go into the grocery store. Oh, you guys are fantastic, you know. And then, and then you get a little complacent, and then boom, you get your ass spanked a couple times, and you know, sometimes that's not a bad thing. And I think that they'll respond. I hope so. Just as long as Monty's just even average, I think they can win that game against Boston. If we see bad Monty, all bets are off.
Yeah, that's for sure. Any goaltending is the one position that will kill the team. If it's not at least average.
Yeah, it could really snowball. You know, if he lets in 2 of his first 3 shots, I mean, the crowd. Even last game, you could see them giving them the Bronx cheer when he made a couple of saves there. You know, they've been doing that.
2 goalposts in the first period, and he was beat. Those were shots that he was beat. So the players knew it, right? They're like, "Oh, something's off. It's going to be tough today."
Yeah, for sure. Kandata would be better than Veleno, at least in the bottom 6 role. You know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that. He's he didn't look bad when he played for the with the Canadians last year. He even scored a goal, eh? No, he. You know what? That's a good point, Simo. And on the 4th line, right? If Davidson doesn't, you know, he can't handle the pace or whatever. That's the one thing with Davidson that we'll see. It's always been the knock on him is his pace isn't great, but I think we've seen improvements in his skating, and hopefully, certainly the motor's there and the effort's there, and I think he can keep up. But we'll get a better idea, you know, the next couple of games how he handles the NHL pace. But if he can't, maybe Kandata is. Yeah, I hadn't thought of him, but you know, he doesn't hurt you out there. He's pretty solid away from the puck.
really, really well respected too by his teammates, right? They
He
think the
is.
world of him. He's
Oh yeah,
really, really well liked.
yeah, yeah. He'll go through a wall. Okay, well, Mark, slip some vodka into hot chocolate, Grant. You'll get to what you get. Yeah, there you go. uh, what does Anaheim have that the Habs have not for success? What Anaheim has that the Habs has not for
Yes,
success?
Anaheim have the Montreal doesn't, right?
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just reading it phonetically.
yeah.
Just, I think I know what you mean there, Stam. Um, what do they have? Uh, more patience than us, I guess. It's just get back to me next week. Anaheim could lose 5 in a row, and Montreal could win 4, and then Anaheim fans will be asking, "What do the Habs have that Anaheim doesn't have for success?" We're 16 games into the season right now. Anaheim's hot. Um, you know, it they don't have anything more than the Habs do, other than they're on a hotter streak than the Habs right now. They're just a young team that's coming up too. 2 weeks ago, the Habs looked a lot better in Anaheim. Now Anaheim looks better than the Habs. Young teams are going to have peaks and valleys. There's going to be times when they look like world beaters, and then there's times when they won't. Right now, what Anaheim has that Montreal doesn't is better goaltending. Uh,
That's true.
Dostal's steadier starter than Monty, and better starting goaltending. That would be why right now they're playing better than Montreal. I think the main
For
reason.
sure.
Okay,
I think also Anaheim started their rebuild a year earlier than the Habs, so they might have a
yeah,
little bit better
that's
depth
right.
temporarily. But
Yeah,
that again, it ebbs and flows, and it's going to change very quickly. One or two good pickups, player shows up. One injury to Anaheim to the wrong player, and things could fall apart too, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, they picked up Truba and Kreider, and they kind of they got some more veterans to sort of
Yeah,
they don't have as young a roster as Montreal
no,
either, right?
yeah,
When you think about it, really.
yeah,
But no, it's there's no guarantees they're going to be ahead of the Canadians at the end of the year. Just right now,
for sure.
you know, they're playing better. Oh, they got Joel Quenneville. Lots of people are weighing in on that. Yeah, there you go. Ebbs and flows. See, yes, the ebbs and flows. Well said. Eric. Oh, here's a new name here.
Oh,
Eric, and you Simard confirmed, Rec. Does Kapanen have the tools to be as effective as Deneau eventually? There's some similarities there, I think.
maybe. I mean, Dano wasn't Dano until he became Dano, right? He didn't
Right.
start off so hot either. He was
Well,
known as, maybe he'll be a fourth line player in the NHL. When he
yeah,
was drafted, nobody was excited about Dano. Actually, a lot of people felt that Chicago was a little bit early to pick him up, I think, sometime. It was a little bit, people said he could have waited a bit. Uh, Turns out to be a great pick, and
Cap,
all the credit in the world to Dano, but it took him a while to become who he is. And same
Cap,
thing with Kapanen. It'll probably
yeah,
take a while to become everything he. One thing I think maybe as he's in North America and grows up a little bit is he'll get more used to the smaller ice, and he'll also become physically a bit stronger. That'll help him. But again, considering the amount of games he's played in the NHL, so far so good. I think he's better than. I think he's playing better than Dano did after 30 games in the NHL.
yeah. Well, he's a better goal scorer than Phil Deneau.
Yeah,
He's got a
yeah.
better shot.
Oh yeah.
Deneau with the friggin' Canadians never scored more than 13 goals, right? And
Right.
Cappy might have that at mid-season at 22,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So, I think he's got more offensive upside
Yeah,
than Deneau at the end
yeah,
of the day, a little more.
yeah. I
But
think
there are
Dano
some
probably has a bit
similarities there.
more grit, but
That's
it's
right.
two
Yeah,
players that bring a little something that two good players that bring something a little different to the table.
yeah. Yeah. You wanted Zegras, yeah. Well, you can have him there, Wayner. I still not a Zegras fan. He's whatever. He's getting playing time in Philly because they don't have anything else. He wouldn't be in the top 6 in Montreal, probably. Maybe the second line, maybe. I don't know. Still not the biggest Zegers guy, but from all accounts, he's playing a little harder now, which is
Yeah,
he needed to do that. And maybe Tocchet's kind of rubbing off on him, right? I don't know
right.
that Marty St. Louis would have been the best coach for Zegers because I think he needed a more of a Tocchet type coach to motivate him.
Yeah.
Kapanen, yeah, well, Kapanen's getting pretty good in the faceoff circle. Hugo will be active in trade market, but they will not make a panic move. I agree.
Absolutely.
You know what? For sure. Cole Caulfield was hooked up to a lie detector and said he wasn't upset that they didn't get Zegras. Yeah. Him and Zegras were pretty good buddies. You know, there's some you got to be careful with that too. You know, the guys that are good buddies that you end up putting them on the team together. That's not always a good thing in a town like Montreal, especially. Cole's kind of got a bit of a reputation for liking the nightlife, and Zegras the same. I'm not so sure that would have been the best thing for their two,
No.
for them, long term. Uh, you know, you got to consider those things too, right?
Yeah, I as the dad of a now adult daughter, but when she was a teenager, I tell her all the time, you want to work on a school project, never work with your best friend. Always work
No,
with somebody you like, but never your best friend
yeah,
because
no,
that doesn't turn out well.
y-
It's the same thing in hockey sometimes.
you're laughing and shooting the shit, and yeah. Here's a wild idea. Put Capia on the first line, sit Suzuki a few games to rest. I think he would excel. Yeah. Okay. Woo.
Whoa.
Glad you yeah. You already sent that $5, eh, Mark? Okay.
You're gonna
So
have a hell of a drop off on the second line, though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And put Valeno in center of the second line or yeah. I don't know. Okay, well, listen, I'm sure you want to get going there, Rick. I appreciate you coming on. I don't
Oh,
know,
thank you for having me on.
if you want to stay a few more minutes, you're welcome to. But
No, I'm gonna call it a night. I got to get some work
okay,
done, and I will see you again. I think on Sunday morning, right, Grant?
yes, sir. And
Absolutely,
I
looking
think I'm
forward to
going
it.
to a game Sunday afternoon, so we'll try to get her done by 10. Like do it at 10 if we can on Sunday morning,
Absolutely.
because I got to go to see the Ryan Rubrek
Oh,
kid.
nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
missing. I'm actually missing Diorio tonight. Uh, I wanted to do this. So sacrifices I'm making for you folks by doing this. I'm missing a decent draft prospect in
Awesome.
Ottawa tonight. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Rick, and
Have a good night.
always a pleasure. Are you around tomorrow night or
No, 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 no. Tomorrow night, I'm taking care of my mom, who's
are you
been having
okay?
some health
Okay.
problems. So definitely Sunday morning.
Okay, my friend.
All
Good
right.
enough.
Take it
I'll
easy.
probably do a post game tomorrow night, but okay, you have a good one and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Have a nice night. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Rick Springhetti, folks, the one and only super guy. I love Rick. Good guy. We'll go a few more minutes here, guys. We got up to 500. We just hit 500, the 500 mark for people watching. So I feel guilty leaving when we got that many people that have tuned in. And listen, if you're on X, you want to come over, ask a few questions. I'll stay a few more minutes here. What the heck? I like reading your comments and hanging out with my fellow Hab friends. Safe to say. Pierre Gingras, Bolduc, Captain, and Demonov would make me more excited about the game. I hope they do that, I really do. That would be pretty cool. Remember the three amigos in Montreal? Ribeiro, yeah. Dagenet, Theodore. Well, yeah. Corson and Chelios back in the day. Back when they really partied and stuff. You hear lots of stories, boys. They were crazy partiers. Partied hard, played hard, worked hard, and you'd sweat her out in practice the next day, right? Those were the days. I have to say I was kind of the same mindset back in those days too. Captain on the first line is too much for the rookie. Yeah, no, Grant, the man of the people. Hey, there you go. Come on, guys. A few more questions here, or I'll honestly make sense why play Suzuki, who's probably at 50-60% with the injury. Good for experimenting. Yeah. Well, because they want to make the playoffs, and Suzuki sitting out. He played 22 minutes. Only one player, I think it was Matheson, played more than he did last year, or last game. And typically forwards not getting more ice time. But with Newhook out too, I mean, you need Suzuki on the PK. You need him. Well, you need him on the first line. You need him. You need him. And listen, players are proud of their Iron Man streaks, and you'd have to have Suzuki tied up, tied and gagged, right? Bound and gagged for him not to play the next game. He wants to keep it going, and he will. And whether we like it or not, he'll play through it. He's a tough son of a gun. Dagenet's son, Maddox, yeah, about to get drafted. Yes, sir. Jack-eye for Veleno now. Good idea or not? And then you'd have to call up a defenseman. Yeah. I don't know. Anybody for Veleno. Well, Mr. Nicely. Hey, Grant loves Veleno. Well, we know it, eh? Mark, Grant, what's your prediction for the game? Oh, geez. I'm not real big on predictions. I don't know. Just like last game, ask me after the first three shots. If two of them go in, Boston wins. If Monty saves all three, Montreal wins. That's as close as I'll come to making a prediction. Mr. Nicely, we will see what they're made of. Yeah. Them's fighting words. Yeah, really. Doc might do okay on line one in a pinch. Yeah. 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 Well, Susie's not going anywhere, guys. He's probably better already. Kid's tough as nails. Never misses a game, so Vidasi. All good. I'm not a fan of teams that peak in October, November. I'd rather have a team that plays like a team, overcomes obstacles, and gets stronger. 5 games without a point so far. Yeah. No, that. Yeah. Have a couple of peaks and valleys now. I mean, they're going through a bad streak right now, and they're still in first friggin' place. So, if they have end up having a ending the season like they did last year, don't forget they're the youngest team in the league, and there's a very good chance that as the year goes along, that they're only going to get better, right? If they can get the goaltending sorted out, and here's hoping they can. Montembeault was top 3 in saves above expected last year, and he was top 10 the year before. So he's capable of playing well. You just got to hope that he can turn it around. And I mean, I'm not right now. I'm not overly optimistic about it, but if I recall correctly, his October and November last year wasn't wasn't superlative either. I mean, the team wasn't playing well, but I don't think Monty had a lot of games where he gave up a goal or two early on, and you know, he had the same issue last year with the first couple shots, right? Quite a few games where he let in the first shot or two of the first three, and the Canadians would have to battle back. But um, it's going to be interesting. Intermission show tomorrow. I don't know about that. I don't think I've got anyone to come on with me. It'll depend on the young lad too. I'll have a better uh, I'll have a better idea by midday tomorrow whether or not to do intermission thing. It didn't really. I don't know. Nobody watches. The problem with the intermission is that nobody watches it after, right? So whoever the numbers on YouTube end up not being very good, and they're not really being any money generated from it. So uh, I'll think about it. Saturday night, it might be popular, right? Uh, but certainly, I hope to do one after for sure. Might be going solo, but that's okay. With all you guys here, um, it's not. It doesn't feel like I'm doing it solo, right? You guys are basically my co-hosts. uh, okay. Yeah, Pierre's stealing Mark's job here. Like button, folks. Thumbs up. Yeah, press the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Uh, yeah, I might try it intermission tomorrow solo. We'll see. Saturday night. The numbers are really good on X. Like I think 1,000 views the intermission the other day, but the only problem is that doesn't get monetized, and they don't follow they don't you don't get analytics on X, which is unfortunate. So when I start going to some possible sponsors here, you can't show them numbers from X because they don't keep track of them. So I don't know. I got to figure something out there as far as that goes, but I do suppose that many people watching on X is giving it exposure, and hopefully more start to come over to the YouTube. You know, subscribe, like, contribute to the maybe become a member, contribute to the live chat here. So it's all good. Eric, I hope Bolduc becomes as effective as Pete Gallagher, at least 30 goals, 60 points. Yeah, Pete Gallagher was never 60 points. I came close a couple times, but he never a big assist man. But yeah, you can hope that Bolduc becomes a 30 goal scorer. I mean, we saw we saw signs of it last year, right? 19 goals, and he was really good in the second half. Pierre, you just need a huge sponsor bound to happen. I hope so. Getting good numbers, like considering how many shows I'm doing a month, the numbers overall are good. I haven't really approached too many yet, but wanted to build up a bit of an audience first. But yeah, we're certainly seeking sponsors, that's for sure. If any of you guys know anyone that might be interested in sponsoring, certainly feel free to pass along names and I'll get in touch with them. Okay. Time to regroup against Boston. Great timing. Yeah. long as they don't lose to Boston. I hate losing to Boston. I go back to the 70s, right? So it's ingrained. Like I almost hate losing to Boston more than Toronto. Well, I did for 40 years, but it's kind of switched a little bit recently. But certainly Boston is number two, top two on my list of teams that I do not like to lose to. Anaheim has depth at forward and good goaltending. Yeah, they do. They do. They're a half decent team. You know, both Montreal and Anaheim. I think in 2-3 years you might see them in a Stanley Cup final at some point down the road. They're both really promising teams. Okay, folks, I want to go watch a bit of Keaton Verhoff. He's playing a game tonight on TSN 5. Really appreciate you coming out. We got up to 532 views. Again, press the like button. Tell your friends. We'll see you tomorrow night, probably during the intermission, but I'll see. Certainly, I think after the game, if the young lad's not gaming down here, I'll do a post game. So, all right. Have a good night. Enjoy your Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow.